What's up, y'all? It's your girl K Flo. Welcome to Honesty with Strangers. We are back with episode 2. Today I'm going to share a story with you about my Bufo experience. Last episode we talked about fear, facing your fears, how that feels, different experiences with that, how it can hold you back, and really how we just need to face ourselves and dive deep, head first, right into our fears so they don't have any power over us, right? So we empower ourselves. We do the things that we really want to. So this past weekend, I actually got hired for content creation to come out and film video and take pictures at this spiritual retreat. Unfortunately, we were able to participate in some of the activities. The retreat consisted of, they did like this dance session where it just got the body moving, the yoga, ayahuasca together, temescal, which is like a sweat lodge, Bufo ceremony, and aquatic massage. Beautiful experience. Let me tell you all about it. So the first thing that I did was the temescal. It just looked like an oval hut, like a small stadium type of building, right? It's no windows, it's only one door. And I was talking to the shaman and he was telling me the history of it, the purpose of it, why people used it, why we still use it to this day. You know, back in the day, those used to be the hospitals. That was the place where people would go whenever they were afflicted with anything pretty much, but especially anything pertaining to women's fertility, menstruation, giving birth, anything associated with that. But anyway, that was the place where they went to for all of that kind of stuff. And it said that when you go into a temescal ceremony, that if you're trying to get pregnant, if you're trying to give birth, that's where you set your intentions. And it's very potent, it's very strong. So if you're not trying to have no kid, don't put that energy out there. So that kicked off the weekend for me trying Bufo, right? So we're in there, it's 3 different levels. The first level is more like a sauna, which is hot, it's steamy, but you can handle this. Then it went to the second round where they added 20 more of the lava rocks on the inside, and it got super intense. I literally crawled hand and foot going back to the door because I thought I was about to have to tap out. I felt a little lightheaded. I felt like I was about to pass out, but really when I started focusing on myself and what it was that I was really feeling, the experience changed for me, and it started becoming more of like a psychedelic trip almost, because now our bodies can do so much more, but sometimes our mind gets in the way, right? Because our mind tries to keep us safe with the ego and all these type of things. So it's like sometimes our body may even feel like it's ready to tap out, but really you have the strength and the potential to do so much more, right? So I had to sit with that within myself, because I'm just like, I created this moment. I want to participate in this experience, and I want to experience the full range of what this has to offer me. So it was just a matter of like self-checking myself, like, this is uncomfortable, but I can do it. And so, life nugget, right? So it's just all these subtle things that I'm working through in real time and being reminded of about life principles and how we navigate through life when we get in uncomfortable moments. Fight or flight kicks in. And at first, my flight was kicking in. Like, I ain't have nothing to fight except myself, and just, it was uncomfortable. So now I'm trying to like dip out. And it's just like, whoa, that's not always the appropriate response just because you're uncomfortable in a situation. Sometimes you got to stick it out. Sometimes in relationships, especially romantic relationships, in the relationship with ourselves, with our parents, everything like that, things can get thick. It can get steamy. It can get real hot and intense. But are you ready to just check out just because it's a little uncomfortable at the moment? You might have to act like an adult. Are you just gonna dip out? Are you just gonna fight every single time? Like, maybe this moment, as uncomfortable as it is, but maybe this moment is growing you in some way that can be so beautiful and beneficial to your life, So, reminder to myself now, even saying that, that happened on the second level. Mind you, we have 3. So shortly after I make it to the door, we still there, and I'm like calming down or whatever. They open the door to now bring more of the lava rocks in. But it was a good break because we all were getting a breeze. And everybody at that point, it was like, I'm hearing a lot of like, woo, woo, like all this hooping and hollering and stuff, right? So they bring in more rocks, and I'm literally like, I'm just fully into myself right now. I'm talking to myself and just like, yo, you can do this. I'm examining the parts of my body where physically it's becoming uncomfortable. Some parts got a little shaky. I got a little nauseous. So I'm like going into my gut, going into my stomach, and just talking to myself like, yo, I'm healing right now. I'm healing. It might not feel good, but I'm here with a purpose. You feel me? So we made it through. Such a beautiful experience. And that for me was the start of really getting my energy moving and some things that were stuck inside of me, getting it unstuck, right? So the next thing I got a chance to participate in was the aquatic massage. Another beautiful experience. And it's basically where the young lady who administers this practice, she's there with you. She puts the floaties on your legs, and she puts her arm around you and basically kind of like cradles you, like holds you in the water. You know, you float, you get light in the water. So she does that. Then she does like these other movements on your body. She compresses you in. She just moves you through. She does some stuff where it really like moves the energy in the womb space, and it's so needed. I feel it's needed for all people, especially for women, since we have a womb. I feel like men, you know, our bodies are made different, but you still have a womb space too. Like you still have a reproductive area where we have to sit with and get in tune with our feminine energy, you know? I don't care what your gender is. I'm saying this for all people, right? Another thing, like the water was like cold, so for me, like my body's chattering, and it's another intense experience. This is way different. Me, I'm not the best swimmer. I grew up with a parent who instilled the fear of water in me without ever teaching me how to conquer that. And so that's just been a life thing for me to get over, even though I've like taken some swim lessons, like practice on my own. I can swim, but I can't swim. Anyway, sitting in the water, it allowed for other emotions to start coming up. Even with the chattering of my body and the shaking, that in itself was shaking some stuff up. Getting out of the water and like feeling my weight come back to me, but feeling the water just like glide off of my body, I could feel like I felt like I left a lot of stuff behind. So that was beautiful. So now we're into the next day, the last day of the retreat for us. So we go, everybody's out there. It's a one-on-one type of experience. It's not like ayahuasca or something else where everybody's doing it at the same time. No, this is a one-on-one type of thing. So with Bufo, your experience, it can last anywhere from, I've heard as short as like 10 minutes. I've heard as long as like 60 minutes, right? When I did it, I want to say mine was about like 40 minutes or so, right? And so you sit down with the shaman, the people that who administer our Bufo tours, beautiful energy. Like they felt right. I'm very big on energy, and if you don't feel right, especially with something so intimate as that type of ceremony, like it's gonna be hard for me to trust you and to really let go. But they had great energy, very comforting, very nurturing. Addie, she had such a grandmother spirit to her, and just wonderful. So we start off, and she asks you sit in front of her, and she's just like, what brings you to Bufo? What are your intentions for this experience? And already I'm getting emotional. I've watched pretty much everybody else go. I'm towards the end. So I'm already emotional. I've been feeling this stuff going. And I just told her, like, I want to let go of fear. I want to let go of insecurities. I want to let go the feelings of low self-worth, to get out of poverty thinking, poverty mentality, survival mode, like all of these things that have been holding me back and me being in my own way. Like I just got so much more that I'm ready to share with the world, and so much more to offer, and things that I haven't even discovered within myself, where I'm just like, yo, I gotta get this shit right. You feel me? I told her what it was that I came there for. And then she has like these cards. They have these different readings on them. with mine, it was basically like affirming myself. Like, I forgive myself for the pain that I've caused other people and to myself. I am the peace that I seek. And so after that, there's like this vaporizer, like a vapor type of thing that she has, right? It's got this little glass vial on it. And for us, she was telling us that typically they only do 0.1 grams inside of the vial. But she put 0.15 in there for us. And she was saying that the reason why she puts extra basically is just because you don't want to run out. And what you do is when you inhale the vapor, you just fill up your lungs as much as you can go. So for people that have a larger lung capacity, it's just to make sure that they get the full amount, as opposed to only putting 0.7 in there, but you really could have like taken in 0.1. Hope that makes sense. So anyway, we do that. She gives it to me. I sit with it. I say my intentions. I put it to my heart. I'm speaking to it, getting the vibes right and everything like that. And mind you, I'm a lot more calm in that particular moment than I was. But prior to, when my friends were telling me that they did Bufo and all of that, I was terrified. I was not ready to face myself. I was not ready to see the dark sides of myself, the aspects of myself that I needed to work on, the parts of me that I had suppressed because they hurt too much, or the parts of me where I felt like I did some of the work and I don't want to have to do the work anymore. But it was necessary, because who else gonna do it? So I had to sit with myself and really mentally prepare myself and just tell myself that I'm ready, like a fake it till you make it moment. And now here we are. So she was like, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, "All right." So she gives it to me, she lights it, the vapors are starting to build up, and I took it, and she's like, "Breathe in as far as you can." And as soon as I started breathing, my last clear thought, I just said to myself, "I surrender." And as soon as, like, when you take Bufo, immediately you feel the change. And so I said, "I surrender." As soon as I said that, it was just like you just feel your whole body just melt. And if you've done other psychedelics, I've had mushrooms before. I haven't taken anything else. So like with mushrooms, I see a lot of stuff, right? It's like you have a lot of hallucinations, even sound hallucinations. You experience that psychedelic really through your mind and like your visions. Whereas with Bufo, I didn't really see anything. I saw a little something, but it was more of a physical experience. It was more of what I was feeling on an emotional level. I could feel my thoughts. I could feel the bullshit that I had been telling myself. I could feel the energetic blockages in the different parts of me, right? And so it was just beautiful to be able to literally go directly to that space and just hold myself, to nurture myself, to scream, to let the shit go, to let all of that off of me. And it was such a powerful experience to where I would have these releases, and when I would go to exhale or to spit, to purge whatever needed to come out, the wind would be in sync with me, and it would just like this huge gush of blowing of like relief. It was so beautiful. So I just went to those different parts of myself that needed the healing, that needed the nurturing, that needed me. I had to sit with the moment. Like recently, within the past couple years, I had an uncle that was brutally murdered. He was stabbed to death over 85 times. And that was a very traumatic experience for myself and my family. And that was something that was weighing on me. And I could feel it. At first, I wasn't emotionally aware, like, about my grief and what was going on and how that physically can affect you. But I sat with that. And as I'm laying in the middle of the jungle with like drums playing and rattle shaking and people affirming me and stuff like that, I just sat with my uncle and just feeling, acknowledging my grief, but I wasn't sad. It was like, you just notice it. You just notice that it's there. And I was just allowing for the energy to move how it needed to move in order to move through. And I felt in that moment, not only was I doing that work for myself, but I was doing that for my grandmother who lost a son. I felt like I was doing it for my cousins who lost their dad. I felt like I was doing it for my mom, my aunties, my other uncle who lost a sibling. That was just really powerful for me. That's when you talk about doing the work and like healing your family bloodline, your ancestral lineage. Like, yeah, you can really do that. It was just a beautiful experience of being able to face my fear, doing something that I was completely terrified to do, of being that naked and vulnerable in front of other people, to where now I feel empowered. Like, I can do this. Like, I am. Like, I got this. It was just so great, y'all. So if you ever get a chance to participate in the Bufo experience, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. And we just gonna continue on with this healing journey, with being our own best friend, with being the love that we seek in partners, with being the mother to ourselves. Self-love. It's beautiful. And this was Honesty with Strangers. Kind of, I didn't have like a thought out like ending to this episode or anything. I really just wanted to share my experience with you, share some of the information about Bufo, and really, really encourage you. This ain't just like no taking drugs, like here, try weed, or here, try alcohol or something. Like, this is a life moment. This is a therapeutic moment for you. This is a mental health moment that can help you. So I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that just on some like, let's get high. This ain't that. Like, I respect it. These are tools that have been left here by our Creator for us to use for healing. Period. I hope to see y'all next time for episode 3. Who knows what we gonna get honest about and share some stories and talk about. I think it's time we get into some funny, like embarrassing, like, you know, just funny stories that we might not have shared with everybody, or like maybe some taboo stuff that we've done before that we never told anybody. I got some stuff that my mama don't know about. But we gonna have some fun. So I will see y'all next time. Once again, I am K Flow. Check in the description box below for any links, buy some merch, all that good stuff. And peace, love, soul. I'll see you next time.